Hi there. This is Amory from Worcester, Western Cape, South Africa. I am very happy to be here. Thank you for viewing. If you're here the first time, welcome. Thank you for anybody who is coming back and viewing the next one. It is really appreciated. I'm still very new to this. You might see I've got like 2 videos before, 3. So if I get a bit weird and it's odd, please forgive me. I'm sure I'll get into this after a while. I've decided to do my videos according to this plan. On a Monday, I'll just do what I'm doing now, talk and share what I've been doing and that sort of thing. Just a normal live video, which will include knitting and crocheting and that sort of thing. Then on Wednesdays, I have my Afrikaans crochet tutorial that's specifically meant for people who are Afrikaans speaking and are looking for tutorials. I am aware of 1 or 2 other ladies that are doing that. It's always a good thing to have more than one. When I started crocheting, I had, I think, 3 or 4 different channels that I used for tutorials, and every person has a different way of of teaching, and eventually you find the one person that works for you and the other ones won't, and you stick to that one. You tend to stick to that one person unless you're looking for something else. So I think there's about 2 other ladies that I am aware of that does Afrikaans crochet tutorials, but it's very rare, and I'm hoping that it will help somebody somewhere along the line. Then on Fridays, I will be working with 1 yarn at a time. So I stock Moya and I stock Colors of Grace. And if all goes to plan, I will also be stocking a new one called Beatrix. I'll tell you about that in a bit. I'm really, that's merino. So all of my yarns are natural fibers, like either cotton or bamboo or a cotton bamboo mix. And now I'm bringing in merino. And that's what I stock. I don't have a huge shop. I have this little space at my home, which means I don't have a lot of extra costs. I have nobody working for me, which in this economic climate, especially in South Africa's economic climate, is really a great thing to do. I'm very blessed and thankful. Okay, so what did I do this weekend? And why am I only doing this on a on a Tuesday when I'm supposed to be doing it on a Monday? Yesterday I went to Cape Town and I came back too late. And I did do a video, but it didn't work out very nice. So I just deleted the whole thing, and I'm glad I did. I'll tell you about that later. What I did this weekend is we went to Sutherland. Sutherland is a part of South Africa that's it's not Western Cape anymore. It's just over the border of the Western Cape towards the Northern Cape. It's a very, very cold area in South Africa. It's one of the coldest bits of South Africa. It's a small town with a lot of huge farming community, but it's a very small town. I love the place. It's like tons of sheep and just quiet. It's quiet. There's no telephones ringing, nothing. Quiet. And in that time, what did I do? Well, we went. It's a family farm that we were on. My sister-in-law's father's farm. We went there. We went there's a Toyota Cruiser on the farm, so we went 4x4. And in the process, I put on my Facebook page and whatever, Instagram, I put on that I had this knitting project for the weekend, which I said that before in the previous videos, I'm really new to knitting. I don't knit. Didn't knit. And I took my the I stole yarn from my own shop, and I took it with me with my wonderful 5 millimeter size Addy needles. And I did not finish it there, which is why I said I'm glad I didn't actually show you last night because it wasn't quite finished. I finished it this morning. This is what I did. Oh, and I'll put the link for the pattern. It's a Ravelry Linus shawl pattern. I'll put the link down in the description box. I want to show you. Oh, and there was some stuff that I changed because it's just garter stitch in the pattern, and it's one of the stitches I don't really like. I don't like what it looks like on its own. I don't mind it being part of another pattern. Or maybe if you have one of those self-striping type of patterns. I've actually got a yarn that I'm going to use for my next one, so maybe I'll just do garter stitch then. I'll see what it looks like. But for the particular yarn I used was Moya Caress, as I said, the Aeronet one. It has lovely texture, and it's the most amazing colors, which I don't have the labels for. I know the one is cedar, and the other one is Persian green, and then there's a dark one and they're beautiful colors together. I took those colors and I made the shawl. Oh, and I did stocking knit stitch. I'll show you. See? You don't know if you can see this. Anyway, I love this part of the pattern because it gives it like almost a lacy border. That's just part of the pattern. I just saw I didn't actually clip off one of the... Oh well, I love it. I absolutely love it. I blocked it. Just steam blocking. I don't have a blocking thingy board or whatever for this. I just steam blocked it, and it's cotton, so that's okay. If it was merino, it would have been an issue, but it's cotton. So I just used my iron. Really, look, isn't it lovely? I love it. Oh, and the other thing I love about this pattern is the other part of the border, the other side of it looks like this. So it comes out very neat. And I don't have to put in an extra border. When you do crocheting, you have to go around to border something. You have to, if you finish the crochet project, if you want to sort of tidy it up, you have to put a whole last row of single crochets or slip stitches around the corner, around the project rather, not corner. This is very interesting. I'm not sure if it's like this with all knitting patterns, but the way you end the rows, these are, if I'm not, yeah, two together, and that's with this is your first row just consists of 5 stitches, and then you go to the end and you do 2 together, and then you go right back to the other side and you make a stitch, and when you turn around you go to the next one. It is 2, you knit 2, yes, knit 2, yarn over to make a loop, and then you knit right down, and then when you get to the bottom of that you knit 2 together, and that's the effect you get. It's like this little neat border, and on the other side the yarn over. Now I'm talking as if you don't understand a word I'm saying, but if anybody knitting will know exactly. I don't even have to explain this to you. Anybody who crochets and does not knit, that's what you end up with. And every time, because I crochet and I don't knit, I would look at this stuff and I would think, oh, yeah, that's a bit complicated. I don't want to do that. And also because I don't really understand the patterns. The patterns got really confusing for me at some point. I don't understand the terminology and that sort of thing. But now I have found, just by learning some of the terms, I was able to, and this is a very, very easy pattern. It's a very easy pattern. I love this pattern. So I can really, there's another one that's just a very, the basic form of a crescent shawl that I also want to try. That it starts out with 11 stitches, and it's not where this one starts with the increase on the one side and a decrease on the other side. That one just goes increase all the way around. And I think that will be an awesome pattern to sort of, it's a very basic concept. So I think from that basic concept, you will be able to design your own, or at least put your own ideas in there. To be very honest, I'm not even sure anymore where you start saying I designed this and where I just, I don't know. I'd rather not ask anymore. I always get into trouble with it. So this is what I did. I love it. It's cotton, so it dries out very easily and quickly. I only had one little spot where I had to fudge it. That's what they call it, I think. Fix something. One little spot where I had to fudge it. The rest was fine. The rest, there's no issues. My tension was a bit off from time to time, but I just want to say that I was in a 4x4 vehicle on a very rough farm road. So if you are going like this the whole time while you are knitting, your tension won't be correct. And in the beginning, because I'm working with cotton on the Addy needle, it was very slippery to start with. But eventually, as my hands got used to how to hold the yarn without it slipping off, I don't think I'm knitting with anything else. I think I'm sticking to Addies. I'm sort of stocking up. Okay, so what I did yesterday is I went to Cape Town to see my possible new, okay, I want this to be my new yarn supplier. I love it. I love these yarns. I'm really excited about it. As I said before, Colors of Grace is the other yarn I stock, and she has a lovely merino, which if all goes to plan, my next tutorial, oh no, not my tutorial, my next video on Friday will be about that. That will be about that specific merino. I'm gonna try and do something, start making something with it, and then I'll put that video on. She has a sock weight yarn, and I've been looking for a double knit yarn that I don't have to necessarily buy in bulk, because it's too small still on my side for me to buy a lot of merino in bulk, and it is an expensive yarn. It's not a cheap yarn. No, I suppose it depends on how you look at it. If I had to, in South African terms now, this is nothing else other than South African terms, and South Africans listening to this video will know exactly what I'm talking about. This shawl took 3 balls of caress, aranite caress. That would be on my side, would work out to about 96, say 100 rand. If I had to buy the shawl, okay, but you know what, play it safe, say 120. And you have 4 balls of wool. Now, or cakes, or I don't know what, some people call it cakes. That will be American. We just call it a ball. I grew up with it as a ball. But anyway, that would cost me 120 rand. Trying to buy that in a shop at the moment, pure cotton, and actually made instead of just machine made, handmade, will not cost you anything less than 300-400 rand, depending on which shop you go to. If you go to a large retail shop like Woolworths, yeah, you're not going to pay less than 300 rand for it. Not a handmade cotton, pure 100% cotton item. So it's worth it. I was actually looking at another YouTube tutorial just while I was on this channel. I think it's Nitpicks. And it says, I think it's on the website, it says, craft more, spend less. And that is the truth. If you make your own stuff, you will end up spending less. Even if the yarns seem very expensive in the beginning, if you go make your sums and you go check what you're going to pay for that specific yarn, type of yarn, merino, a wool item in a shop costs 500 rand. And then you're talking about the cardigan. Then you're not talking about anything more than that. And then it's one of those little short cardigans. It's not really something to talk about. So no, it's worth it. I've never been, I started crocheting, wasted a truckload of yarns in the whole process of figuring it out and trying to figure it out and trying to learn. I'm not going to say you never have waste. You do. You also have unnecessary stash because it becomes a bit of an addiction. You kind of stash you stash them up. You have these, but in the long run, it's really satisfying. Okay, so that's now good Afrikaans, as I would say. My preek is nou klaar. Yeah, so that's what I did. I think I showed. No, I didn't. See, this is 100% merino. I will be stocking this. This one is alpaca. I probably won't be stocking this. These are far more expensive than these. And I'll put the link for each time I do a specific yarn. If I work with a specific yarn on a Friday, I'll put the link for that company in my description box, so that you can see the entire, if anybody goes onto that site, they will see the whole picture, all the beautiful colors. These are lovely and I can't wait to work with them. I haven't quite decided what to do with them. They're about approximately 100 meters. 96 to 100 meters, both of them. They both double knit. So I'll probably mix them. I love these two colors together. See? There's a little bit of this one in this one. If you look at the bottoms. See? These are gradient cakes. I love it. These are more solid. Okay, and that's what I did there. And then I did this. I bought two Addies. The one is a 4mm. Show that to you now. The one is a 4mm, and this one is my 4mm, and this one is 5.5mm, and it's 60 centimeters. The 4mm is 60 centimeters, and then the 5.5 is 100 centimeters, and this is what they look like. This one looks more gold plated and the other one nickel plated. This is the 4mm. Here we go. And this one is the 5.5. I already have a 5. As I said, I am busy stocking, but look at this long tail here. This is great for what's the name? Magic loop. Magic loop. That's what you use the long tail ones for. These are not just for short. I didn't get the double pointers that I wanted to get. I wanted to get double pointers, but I didn't get them. I thought I'd rather just wait for a bit with that because it does get kind of expensive. The 4mm price is 82 rand, and then the 5.5 is 123, and it is expensive. It really is. If you think about the fact that you can buy just the normal needle, or even a circular needle for 20 rand or 35 rand, then this is very expensive. But I have been telling myself that these are investments. They're investments. And to be very honest, this is what keeps me knitting. This is what started me knitting, and this is what's going to keep me knitting. Oh, I wanted to say these are both lace needles. They're both lace needles. So they're the ones with the sharper tips. You also get one with just a normal round tip, but I don't really like. I like the sharper tips. I suppose that's still because of crocheting. Used to something that's sharp. Okay, I am reaching the end of my video. I'm trying to keep it at the moment to like 30 minutes at a time maximum. I'm not sure how much my internet will upload, so I'm keeping it to 30 minutes maximum at a time. I'll be wearing my shawl this evening. We are actually going to a family braai. So I'll be wearing it. And there's nothing else I can really tell you. The previous video I told everybody about my dogs and my cats. I have 3 dogs, 3 cats. My dogs are, one is a wannabe whippet. The other one is a border collie husky cross, and the other one is a Boerboel. Boerboel is a South African breed. It's a cross between a bull mastiff and a Rhodesian ridgeback. I love my dogs. And then I've got 3 cats. I've got a very old lady cat, very old lady cat, who has survived. She's a survivor. I'm telling you this. She's lost an eye when she was very young. We moved so many times. You'd think she'd run away. Nope, she just stuck with us. So she's still around. That was actually one of the dogs, if you're wondering. And then I've got 2 others. The one is just completely white with one little very grey spot somewhere, I think. Her name is Tulu. I got her from a lady who had kittens and she didn't know where to go with them, so I took one of them. The other one is called either Kit Kat or Blickies, depending who's talking to her. She's a throwaway cat. She's like a grey. She looks like a almost like a wild cat. She's beautiful, and her name and you know what? She was a throwaway cat. When we got her, she was somebody just chucked this kitten in our backyard, and she was so full of fleas and nearly died. We love her. Very, very naughty. All my animals, I cannot honestly say that not one of them is naughty. They're all naughty. But that's great. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Oh, my two sons were here. They took care of my house. That's it. That's it for today. I hope you have an awesome week. For all the Afrikaans speaking people who need an Afrikaans crochet wat die Afrikaanse jukkel les soek, ek is Woensdag gaan julle dit daar kry. And then I'll be back on Friday again working with one particular yarn. I will probably, if everything works out according to plan, will be using Colors of Grace Merino. I think so. Anyway, have an awesome day. Hope you have a great week ahead. Take care. Blessings. Bye.